Another one.
I'd like to call the order of the meeting February 17, 2015. Would you all please stand for the invocation of pledge of allegiance?
Lord, we pray that you will give our council members the faith and courage to carry on their duties, help them to do right, to deal fairly with others, and to place their trust in you. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here.
Sauer?
Here.
McBain?
Here.
Schlenker? Callender? Here. Simpson?
Here.
Blakeman?
Here.
Willard?
Here.
Blaisdell?
Here. You all received the meeting minutes for February 3rd. Were there any questions or comments? Stated presented. We have a couple of things to read under communications. First is a proclamation for Ron Lalonde. Whereas Ron Lalonde has served faithfully of the City of Columbiana Planning Commission from January 2005 to December 2014 and had previously served as a council member from January 1974 to December 1977. And whereas he was notably involved in progressive decisions for the City of Columbiana and its citizenry, and whereas he exhibited true dedication and distinction to the planning and growth of a constantly evolving and expanding community, and whereas he has earned the admiration and high regard of those with whom he has come into contact and the affection of his fellow public servants. Now, therefore, we, the Council of City of Columbiana, do hereby proclaim our appreciation to Ronald Lalonde and do further express our friendship and good wishes to Ronald for his years of dedicated service to the city and its citizens. Second was a letter received from Rick Noel. To the mayor and members of City Council, first of all, I would like to thank you for my appointment to the Planning Commission. I look forward to working with everyone to make the best decisions for the growth and development of this great city. Because of this appointment, I will resign as the Civil Service Commissioner effective March 1st, 2015. As an original member of the Commission, I am proud of the work that my fellow members and I accomplished during the last 13 years. Civil service rules and regulations we adopted established a strong foundation for the employment, retention, and promotion of the most qualified people to serve our residents. It was truly an honor and privilege to serve with the commissioners and the city's leaders to unselfishly work together to do what is best for this community. Thank you. Sincerely, Rick Noel. And last one here, we received a letter from the Raritan Club. Greetings, the Fairfield Raritan Club is requesting permission to have our annual classic custom and antique car show on Sunday, July 12, 2015. This event is one of our best promotions to help support the Fairfield Raritan Scholarship Fund, which is provided to students in Columbiana High School and Crestview High School each year. As in the past, we'll utilize South Main Street all day of the show, with the understanding the show does not actually begin until noon and ends at 4 p.m. We do not play any music or utilize the sound system until church is dismissed at noon. The street department normally places barricades in the alleys which we use to control traffic the day of the show. Will those be provided this year? We have a DJ playing music and making announcements all afternoon. Will you provide a contact with the city that can assist hooking up the system for our DJ? We'll provide porta-johns for the day. Can they be located in the alley next to the AAA and the cast? Thank you for your assistance. Sincerely, Rick Firmson. Under reports of commission of the board, you received Columbiana Park Recreation and Cemetery Board meeting minutes of January 26, 2015. Comments on those? Planning Commission meeting minutes of February 10th, 2015. Any comments on those? No, I'll move right into anyone who's desiring to speak to council this evening.
In light of Rick Noel resigning from the civil service spot, be accepting letters of interest until March 19th, and then I can get in your packets from that. the 714 project for the engineering, as far as letters of interest for the engineers. That was posted on ODOT's website, District 11, yesterday, and we'll be running a small press release in the local papers to let local engineering firms know. Some of you might have noticed that Norfolk Southern was in town here last couple weeks again, but they've been working with Jesse, and we've got a plan for 2015. They're going to be doing a lot of the same work that they were doing last year, but they're going to do it on the north side of the tracks, the north section of tracks. But they've agreed to work with Jesse to get one of those up and running before they even start the other one. So it's good that we're planning now, and hopefully the communications stay where they were at, where they ended up last year. So I think we're going to be good. And then that way, when they come back in and do the other two crossings, that we'll have that one crossing open the whole time. And you know, we're being flexible right now, but we are considering school schedules and other things as far as working on a time frame when they're going to be here. We do have some tree trimming services in town still. We're doing a couple special projects. We're removing some trees and trimming some trees. The electric department, they're still working on the LED project proposal, and there's been servicing street lights and getting the trucks ready for the year. The street department, they've been plowing and salting as needed. They've got a big workout, and they did a great job on Saturday. That snow came down fast and hard, and I was actually driving, and it was not good. Couldn't see very far at all. But they right then when they were plowing, I think they came in on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. And they worked through to like midnight. We even had a water break, so there were like three other departments helping in the process of plowing, salting, and fixing a water break. So appreciate everything that they did to get that up and going. They've been patched holes a few days last week, and again, when the weather breaks, we'll do some more of that. As far as Park and Cemetery, the Joy Christmas displays are down. We do some lights on the rooftops, and we still have to remove both tunnels, but gotta wait for weather right now because they're frozen into the ground. And they've been helping with snow removal. They've been cleaning out the old park garage. And pavilion rentals actually started this last weekend. People are starting to rent them already. So during that water break, the chief helped us. We got onto the Nixle that we've been talking about. It's something that you can get on our website, columbiana.gov. Get on there and sign up. There's several levels of notifications that you can receive. So the people that were signed up got a clear message that there was, whether it's a boil alert or any other type of emergency or information. So it's a nice thing to have, and the chief's really been educating us on it, and hopefully we can get all the departments on it without his help. So he can train us so we can get on there, but we do appreciate it, Chief.
No problem.
Let's see. In your packet, I talked about the dynamic structures order from the chief, and got a hold of him, and we're going to be working with him the next several days to get any of the concerns that they have about that operation within the city. And that's out there at 714. The crews were in today, and I guess that the safety improvements for the turning lanes north of town there on Route 14 and 7th Street, it's done. It's cycling through right now, they're monitoring it, and the chief's monitoring it. If we get any calls, we'll make changes as necessary, but it came in and it's done, so it's very nice. There's a turning arrow, turning arrows up there now, so. Lastly, we've been talking about our gas rate, and we were, I know that Ron, you had mentioned the gas rate. We were able to lock in at 0.479 per CCF, and that will start April 1st and go an entire year. That's a pretty good price. We did look around to not only this, but to some other areas in the state, and that is very competitive with the best rate we've seen. So, and that's a fixed one-year rate that will be active April 1st. I think that's it for that. Got the fire department report, Columbiana police report, building and zoning department report. And that's it, Ron.
I wanted to visit this order by the chief a little bit deeper. Did you guys all get a chance to read it? To me, it said, in its application, Clear Creek supplied the division with information and details regarding its proposed operations. At the Clear Creek facility, residual brine and other waste substances associated with oil and gas will be removed from trucks and vessels. They will be temporarily stored on-site in closed vacuum boxes for transportation and off-site for lawful disposal. There is no on-site processing or solidification of accumulated solids. Technically enhanced natural radiological materials, when received or generated from processing material managed at the facility, will be handled in accordance with the radiological protection plan provided by Clear Creek for the Clear Creek facility. When we speak with Ms. Richard Simmers, the chief today, he suggested that the radiological aspect of that, for the most part, is about the same as what's in a granite countertop.
Yep.
But also said that there could be other things that were more solids inside the trucks. He suggested from an appeal standpoint, because that's the way this letter ends, is that if we have the right to appeal it within 30 days. And he said on the phone that 30 days is very firm, and suggested that if we had any interest in doing so, that we should file the appeal, and then we could withdraw it at any time. But if we don't, we will lose our right to be able to. So I don't know how much discussion you guys have had on this, but it would make sense to me that we move forward with filing an appeal, and then if you guys decide that everything looks peachy, you can withdraw it. But if you don't, we lose our right to be able to do so. So I wanted to bring that up because it's not on the agenda, but I would think it would make sense. I can't make motions, but I would ask one of you guys to do that for us to at least be able to file it, and then we can withdraw it at a later date if so needed. It says, order is appealed to the Ohio appeal must be in writing and must be set forth. The grounds to appeal, such appeal must be filed within 30 days after receipt of this order. So we wouldn't have much time to wait another 2 weeks and then decide to do something and then write something.
Comment?
Yeah.
Why don't we, you're planning on talking with the chief next couple, 3 days?
Yes.
Why don't we take that couple, 3 days, we still have time to appeal, and see if we see anything that comes up, big flashing lights, hey, we might have a problem here. And if so, throw that appeal out there. I almost feel if we're gonna have an appeal, we should have some grounds to have it other than we just want an appeal.
I apologize.
So you get that yet?
I'll turn that off.
That, you know, let's find out what he has to say. I mean, we got the expert coming up here.
We have enough time frame wise though?
Oh, we got this letter was written on the 11th, and it's for the time we received it. When did we receive it?
Last Thursday.
Thursday, 106.
And we got 30 days from now.
So you'd only have, if you waited until the next council meeting, you only have a week to react.
Well, I would make a motion that if the manager finds something he deems necessary, that he turns in the appeal.
So you have to make a motion to do that.
I just did.
Okay, because we should have the language in place at the point we need it.
Right.
So now does Danny to draw up that,
You would draw up if it's really necessary.
okay, but I'm saying if we need it, maybe we should have it ready in case we, you know,
Well,
how much time would it take you to be able to draw up the language on it?
the appeal process indicates it's simply a written appeal based upon whatever grounds you have. At this point in time, I don't know what the grounds are. I don't think anybody does. So in order to make the appeal, you have to have a reason. And then it's just simply a matter of advising them in writing within the time.
Okay, so your appeal was kind of safe.
Yeah, but my point is, let's Lance look for a reason. If he feels that we need to do that, then let's jump on it.
But I think a little background is necessary. You all had the minutes from the planning commission meeting, I trust, everybody's seen those. And the requirements for this operation were set forth in those minutes. And the one requirement was that they had a valid permit from ODNR. This is a valid permit. So you have to have some reason to say, question the validity of the permit.
Well, there was no radiation discussion whenever they came in here originally. I'm sure you know that.
Well, that may be so, but that wasn't part of the planning commission's approval. So I'm just saying, if you're going to appeal, you really need a reason, because otherwise you're saying, well, we just changed our mind. We don't want you rescinding what the planning commission had done. So you need to have a valid reason to make the appeal.
I think we're a different body than the planning commission.
But, well, go ahead.
The planning commission gave them authority they approved the site plan. That is the council's issue. So if you're going to authorize an appeal, that's fine. I mean, you're basically saying we don't like what the ODNR has imposed as requirements for this permit. And you're appealing to the ODNR and say, we don't like what you did. You're gonna have to say why you don't like what they did.
Well, there's several in here that I have a problem with. They suggest that there'll be, they have to come up with a radiological protection plan that was provided by Clear Creek for the Clear Creek facility. They have to provide their own. It's like they get to write their own plan. And when we spoke to the chief today, he said that they have to hire a consultant. And that consultant is on a statewide list of pre-approved consultants, and then they can go and pick their plan. And then, the only time that plan would ever change would be if the radiation levels that the consultant expects to see would change from what actually is seen. And if that's the case, then they have to tell the state, otherwise they don't even have to tell the state that. Those things to me, with a company that was opening and running their business without a permit, without filing for this permit, how do you expect them to self-police themselves when they were intentionally doing something in the first place? So I would ask that, and frankly I did, to the chief, and those things were concerning him. That's why there's further discussions to come.
Well, that's fine. I'm not suggesting you can't do it. I'm just saying you really need to have a sound basis for it. It's just not,
Well,
an appeal without a reason is not an appeal that's worth doing. Just keep that in mind.
Well, I would suggest
Maybe it might be a better way. Excuse me.
consider to go ahead for Lance if we see something that's there, move forward.
I think that's what Dick said. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I don't want to miss the boat if there's something really there. And us miss the opportunity to have our say.
But, trying to go back on 45, 50 years worth of education that I haven't used in 45, 50 years. Because I remember radon is really only a problem to the human if he ingests it. Okay, it's like
Well, I don't think that's really true, because you can get it from lung cancer from breathing.
you ingest it, breathing it, because radon in your basement, and then people get lung cancer from it, they breathe it, that's when you have a problem. It's pretty much, it can be stopped by newspaper, as I remember, very low energy.
It also has a fairly short decay time.
Yeah, right, okay.
The
So
one problem with radon though is that if it's a situation where there's scale forming, radon can enter into the scale and then it becomes radioactive much longer than just the normal gas would be. But, you know, this operation is intended to remove that kind of material from the tanks and so on, so I wouldn't expect that to be a problem.
It says that they will have to submit concentration tests for radium-226 and radium-228.
Yeah, that, to me, that says they may be conceivably processing drilling mud.
They will be.
And drilling mud, that's gonna be radioactive material from the organic shales.
Okay, I just looked it up, because I thought I was right, radon's an alpha. Newspaper, this sheet of paper will stop it. Not hard to shield for most likely where the radiation would not come out of their tanks. It's that easy to stop.
Yeah, but if there were a spill, and you were dealing with other radioactive elements like uranium, because there is uranium in some drill kinds. And again, it's very low level, it says it's the equivalent of gram countertop. I suspect it's lower than, it's probably lower than a gram countertop. But I'm not overly concerned about it, just because it is very low level radiation.
I'm concerned from a development standpoint. You got a residential neighborhood right next to it. If something did happen, you'd have a big mess on your hands. Not to mention, I can't think of too many people that want to move into a residential neighborhood that was next to a potentially radioactive site. I would.
I suspect that the radioactive material being disposed of by the healthcare organizations out there are probably just as great or greater than what is coming out of this site.
I don't mean to prolong the discussion, but I think it's important. We can disagree or agree on the significance of a particular item in the Finn's report, but the thrust of the permit is that ODNR is responsible for monitoring whatever it is going on. In this case, they're talking about, in addition to some other things, this radiological protection plan, which they have to approve and continually monitor.
Themselves.
We're not,
The state doesn't.
the division has to, it says specifically that these reports are made to the division. ODNR is the watchdog entity. We're not equipped to monitor radon. We don't have that. That's why ODNR issues the permit.
He said he doesn't either. He said the health department for the state actually will be involved because he doesn't either.
Well, that may be so, but if you're appealing by saying we don't like your reporting and your monitoring process, then we'd have to tell them what they should be doing. And that's kind of like telling the agency responsible for it what they should be doing. And that's an odd objection to raise. That's all I'm saying to you. If you raise that kind of objection, you're going to get that kind of an argument. Well, hey, we're doing what the law says we're supposed to do. Now you're telling us that isn't good enough. If you're going to take that position, you better have a really strong argument behind it.
I think the position we need to take, if we were to, is that you have a company that operated in in our city without a permit, and did so with the necessary need of this permit from the ODNR that they didn't have and was operating. And I don't think the gentleman was aware of that when we spoke to him today, and those things are very important.
Well, that's another issue.
But you were asking issues, that, I would say that's an issue.
Point of order, I got a motion on the floor.
You restate your motion for,
That, since Lance is gonna be communicating with the chief as we refer to him, next couple, 3 days, if Lance sees a big red flag popping up, authorize him to start the appeal.
are we authorizing him to send in the appeal if
Right.
he sees an issue?
Right.
I'll second the motion.
And there's nothing wrong with Lance communicating his concerns to you,
Yeah.
so you can be in on,
I mean,
in on the decision making.
I would think that, if he saw big enough concerns, you know, he could even call a special meeting
Sure.
prior to doing something. So you
Sure.
don't have to wait 2 weeks if it's something of major concern that requires attention, so.
With this, we would have to do that. I think with this motion, we wouldn't even have to have a special
Well,
meeting.
I'm thinking
No, it
if
wouldn't have to,
something,
no,
if
because
something big came.
That's
up.
giving Lance the horsepower.
Yeah,
I'm not quite sure Lance would keep us informed anyhow, he wouldn't keep us in the dark.
yeah, the motion's fine, and if Lance sees a red flag, he can certainly act on it, and he can certainly call any of you to explain what he thinks and get some feedback. No problem.
Do you have a comment?
Becker?
Yes.
Souter?
Yes.
Yes.
Callender? Yes. Simpson?
Yes?
We all received the bill list for February 17th, 2015. Any comments on that?
Yes, third page. Inaugural reimbursement. What is that?
That was from the inauguration event that we were invited to from the city for a meeting now. Before we sent that in, the invitation came through the city, not to me. Cleared the plans before we represent the city. Right team that I paid for all of her expenses. I paid-
Excuse me, Mayor, just speak up, I can't hear you. That
Oh,
heat
sorry.
runs.
It was for the inaugural. And I paid for all of my food expenses, my wife's, all of her expenses. Had it cleared beforehand.
Well, is that gonna stand up to an audit?
I mean, I think so. I mean, Ryan called me about it, and I thought that sounded reasonable. You can get the invitation through the, through city mail. And, I think that the room stay in Ireland, and the ticket was definitely with us,
What is it all?
I mean, the way the charter reads, the mayor is the representative of the city. And so, yeah, in those kinds of situations, I don't see it as a major issue.
But to get back to your question, I mean, I'm all about, education.
I think from a representative standpoint, I think they told me there was 10 mayors in the state that were there. And Tim Ross, the gentleman that I introduced to Lance, was the one responsible for picking, he had to pick, I prefer his quadrant of the state. And I asked him when I was down there, and that's how that came to be. So the invitation came to the city for the mayor to go. And benefit from getting the name of Columbiana to people who make decisions on things that happen in the city of Columbiana. I think it's a very good investment.
So did we get benefits from it?
I think so.
I would expect it would be future benefits just by contracts.
Well, I mean, I can, from Nancy's standpoint, we worked with Tim Ross on several of the grants. He was involved with the 7 and 14. Intersect was another.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so getting the political part of this business, absolutely. I think that networking is how things get done. And in the state, if the city was 7,000 people, if we picked to be there, be represented, personally, I would go on regardless. If the invitation to come to my house came here. That's what I would do.
Yeah, and again, if, I thought it sounded totally reasonable, it wasn't in Hawaii or Louisiana or Chicago. Do we get invitations?
All the time.
All the time. Hawaii trip, we don't,
Phoenix,
Key West, so.
It's really no different than going to, the power seminars in Columbus that are down there all the time. I don't view it any different as the mayor's conference that I went to in July or August. I mean, you meet other people, you.
No, that's more of an educational type of mayor's conference, isn't it?
I don't think it's really any different.
It is, the mayor's is definitely required, both for him and the president of council to go to. And then when we send our wastewater guys down, water,
Well,
we have.
yeah, that's schooling.
Yep, I understand there's a difference.
And I feel there is.
Yep.
Anything else? There's no old business. Moving into new business. Need a motion to approve the request from Fairfield Birthday Club to hold the annual antique car show on Sunday, July 12th, 2015 in the city of Columbiana. Music will not start until noon. Prior to the event, they must provide a certificate of insurability naming the city of Columbiana as an additional insurer.
So move to approve. I'll second that. Go right ahead, Mary. Ladies before gentlemen.
Deanne?
Souter?
Yes.
McBain?
Yes.
Challenger? Yes. Simpson?
Yes.
Becker?
Yes.
Ordinance number 15-0-2800, first reading. An ordinance increasing the compensation of the 6 members of council pursuant to section 4.13 of the amended charter of the city of Columbiana.
Noting, Mayor, that we have a sister ordinance coming up quite possibly at the next council meeting, I would move to table this ordinance for the next council meeting.
I'll second that.
Deanne?
McBain?
Yes.
Challenger? Yes. Simpson?
Yes?
Becker?
Yes.
Souter?
Yes.
I believe we need a motion for title only also.
Yes.
Before we proceed with the next one.
I'm sorry. Due to the lengthy ordinance, can I have a motion to read by title only?
So moved.
Second.
Deanne?
Challenger? Yes. Simpson?
Yes?
Becker?
Yes.
Souter?
Yes.
McBain?
Yes.
Ordinance number 15-0-2801, first reading. An ordinance amending section 452.14A of chapter 452 of the codified ordinances of the city of Columbiana.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments?
really authorizing the chief or I to authorize a snow ban, much like any of the other area surrounding cities. You see the crawl and the scroll or whatever at the bottom of the screen. Allow us to remove the snow in a more efficient manner. We already have the no parking as far as, what, 2 to 5:30 already, and this would allow us to do it with the large amount of snow coming. And we're not intending on using it, every snow. We think we'll probably use it maybe a few times a year, and that'll allow us to, just get down the road. Some of the roads you can't get by with the plows, but it's very difficult to do, especially, in the quadrant 2 or the northwest quadrant. We have some issues getting down the streets. So if we have a parking ban, we can do that. We'll get it out there on Nixle, on our website, and chief will call the surrounding TV stations too to get it on the crawler there. Have anything else, chief?
No, other than primarily the overnight prohibition we have now works pretty well, and people are pretty compliant. The problem we get is in a multi-day snow event, like we've had a couple of here in a row, where things happen during the daytime and you got plows trying to weave in and out between cars, and it really makes the obstruction so much worse to the point where I'm doubtful that a fire truck can make it down some of the streets if it had to, some of our larger vehicles like that. So this gives us a tool to use in the event of a heavy multi-day event, or even if we had a different type of event. It mentions a flood in there, for instance, where we had to get in. In terms of how we arrived, I met with Jesse on this and with Lance, and we talked about it. If you can think of it as a snowplow being able to go down the street and then back up and move on to the next street without obstruction, think of the savings in time, staff hours, fuel, that would present in it alone, let alone to get them back into the circuit where they can come back and replow and start the whole circuit over again. I believe it will help us to keep traffic moving and more safe if we can get that done more quickly. I think we built in some safeguards. We don't want to hurt anybody. We don't want to tow a lot of cars, but that tool is there for anybody who would be non-compliant. And it also gives them a 3-hour window after we declare it, or not even a longer window, 9 a.m. Obviously, we make efforts to locate the owner of a car and ask for compliance. There are safety valves built in there to try not to hurt anybody with a tow bill, but it also gives us the authority to tow it during hours that are not 2 a.m. to 5:30 if we need to get plows through in a major snow event where we have multiple inches of snow or a multi-day event.
That was primarily my question. Have you figured out some type of communication?
Yeah.
Just as an example, my mom parks her car out in front of the house. Mom don't do any of these other
Right.
types of communication. We'd hate to see some old guys like me get their car towed because we didn't do something.
Yeah, I think that there's a couple answers that we tried to build in, and we are aware of that. And a significant part of our population doesn't participate in social media. So anybody can get the Nixle alerts if you have a cell phone. If you don't, though, think of the last 2 snow events. I know that I got tired of hearing about the storm of the century coming for 5 days before it got here, and I don't think there's anybody on earth that knew we weren't going to get a whole bunch of snow. So the TV and the radio stations, we do what we commonly call a media blast, and we call the newsrooms and say this is a snow ban from this time until further notice. They put it on the crawl across the TV, announce on the radio stations, plus we do social media, plus we do Nixle. So we're trying to reach all segments of the population for whatever means their younger people don't always watch the news. So they look at cell phones or computers. We try to do it every way that we can to reach as many people as we can, knowing that there are going to be some that just don't get the message. We're going to probably have some people mad at us occasionally. I know I talked to the chief from another jurisdiction, and I know they towed 39 cars the last time they had theirs. I don't anticipate us getting in that situation. We have pretty good compliance from our residents, and everybody kind of knows that you've got to get a snow plow through there when it's bad. It's just, to me, it's just common sense.
Would the ban also apply to Main Street? Right
Yes.
here?
Yeah, and And that's a good point, Dick. And the bail apply to Main Street, the primary reason being that if you don't plow those, where the bump outs are, those parking areas, now you don't have parking on there, cars begin to creep further and further out into the roadway, so they have to have the ability to plow them. And we thought, we don't want to hurt downtown businesses either,
No.
but there is a municipal lot that's right there that puts you within at least reasonable walking distance of anything in the immediate downtown area. Obviously, we have knowledge of that, we want to get that done, so we tell people you can't park on the street, you have an option to park over here for your business. There's also a provision for loading and unloading for brief periods that, I mean, we're going to be reasonable about this, where you don't pull up and get towed immediately. There's some notice requirements in there, incumbent on us to try and make a reasonable effort to do everything we can to make sure that someone knows to move their car.
Another thing is, this is set up so that you have to declare a snow emergency.
Yeah.
I know there are a lot of communities and other places that have an automatic snow emergency if there's more than a certain amount of snow that falls. Is that considered as a possibility?
It was, and I met with Jesse, and that's one of the things we talked about, how would this be triggered? And his position was interesting in a way, I never thought of it this way, but he said, if the snow starts coming down and we get right on it, and we get the circuits done, we can keep up with it almost as fast as it comes. The problem comes in where it comes in an off hour, or right at rush hour, or 3:45, 15 minutes after everybody went home. And now we get them coming back in, and by the time you get them turned around, now the thing is ahead of you, or it's coming down so fast like Saturday, we can't keep up. We didn't feel like an automatic one was as reasonable as Lance like communicating, and obviously the final decision always is, we communicate that and then declare it if necessary, and we do that in consultation with Jesse. Are you keeping up with it? Do you need it? Those communications would occur. He gets all the weather alerts. I've got him into the weather alerts now where he gets all that on his phone, and we would have communication at least those 3 ways to try and do that. But the automatic trigger bothers us a little bit because if he's able to keep up with it, it really wouldn't be necessary, and we don't want to, if you got enough alerts, you get burned out, you know what I mean? We don't want to be hitting people all the time with an alert every time something hiccups. We want to reserve that for a tool when we really.
My only concern was maybe a Sunday morning church.
Yeah.
You know, that pretty well park Main Street.
Yeah, and that, that was considered too, and then part of the reason for the split declaration period is 8A to 8B, and 8B to, you get to 9A to move the car. So we would hope that people would, by that time, receive notice through some form or fashion, and then if we get down there and the whole place is parked, the church thing is really kind of easy. We go into the church and say, we got a snow ban, we need to have you out of here as quickly as the service is over. I think they're all in one place. That's almost easy. So we want to build some reasonableness into it and still get the job done, but we didn't think that was going to be a big factor, a big issue. You got a 1 in 7 chance that happening, plus, so there's some odds that favor you on it not occurring that often. Starting to sound like I work for the casino commission. I didn't handicap it. Anything else?
Any other comments? Deanne?
Simpson?
Yes?
Becker?
Yes.
Sauer?
Yes.
McBain?
Yes.
Challenger? Yes.
Any council comments?
Yes. Ron, thank you for your service.
Are you more relaxed now, Ron?
Oh, much more.
He can sleep at night now, he doesn't have to worry.
Yeah, I noticed some of the businesses on North Main Street that have, whoever plows their snow manages to plow it all up on the sidewalk. I think something should be said. I don't think it should be the city's duty to go down and clear that out, but I think something should be said to some of these businesses that we should try and keep the lots open.
I might note that I mentioned it to them last year, that they ought to talk to the snow plower.
And there's that gas station next to Ace Hardware often has the sidewalk blocked with snow.
That's the guy that does it.
Whoa, everybody turn I can duck underneath there.
No, actually, Ace Hardware is what blocks it.
I don't know who blocks it, I just know that if we walk the dogs up through there after a heavy snow, you have to walk out on the street to get around.
Well, I gotta walk out on the street to get to the hardware.
Any other comments? I need a motion to go into executive session regarding the discussion of confidential matters.
So moved.
Second.
Yeah?
We plan on any action afterwards?
Probably.
Yes.
Souter?
Yes.
McBain?
Yes.
Challenger? Yes. Simpson?
Yes.
We come out of executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Souter?
Yes.
McBain?
Yes.
Challenger? Yes. Simpson?
Yes.
Becker?
Yes.
I think, it'd be my recommendation to have a special council meeting next week, 7 PM, next Tuesday.
Well, we have a special council meeting next Tuesday, 7 p.m.
Second.
McBain?
Yes.
Challenger? Yes. Simpson?
Yes.
Becker?
Yes.
Souter?
Yes.